The Warriors are getting ready to shock the NBA. 2014. The last time a Golden State Warriors team led by Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, and Draymond Green failed to make an NBA Finals appearance in a season they actually made the playoffs. Completely uncharted territory for the Warriors and, well, let's be honest, the majority of their fan base, because that was back when the Warriors lost in Game 7 against the Chris Paul Lob City LA Clippers. Which is hilariously ironic considering that it was just a few months ago Steph Curry told Chris Paul a few months back that it ain't 2014 no more. With 4 championship rings in the highly successful Steph Curry era, the Warriors may be facing the demise of a dynasty sooner than later with an aging core and a crazy payroll. Core pieces to the dynasty like Draymond Green and Klay Thompson are approaching the ends of their current deals, and the Warriors will have difficult decisions to make on how far they'll go to extend their championship window with Steph Curry still playing at an all-time level. The Warriors caught fire at the right time this season, and I thought that was enough adrenaline the defending champs needed to storm into another postseason hungry for yet another title. A 55-point NBA record first quarter on the road, albeit against a non-playoff team in the Blazers, and then the Warriors marched into the first round looking completely sure of themselves after an early 0-2 hole to the Sacramento Kings. The Warriors won just 11 road games this season. We can literally count those wins on the road using our 2 hands. Well, almost. Not really something you'd say about a championship caliber squad. But the moment the Warriors were tested and needed a much-needed victory, they won. On the road in a series-defining Game 5 back in Sacramento. It was primarily the experience and championship pedigree of the Warriors that convinced most people that they would again make lots of noise this postseason, before a ton of their weaknesses as a team were exposed against the Lakers. Too small of a team and are top-heavy when it comes to high-stakes playoff games. Is this not the first time in a long time you saw Steph Curry carry such a big load offensively? Steph attempted 40 more shots than the next closest Warrior, Klay, and scored an absurd 63 more points in the entire series than the next closest Warrior, with a usage rate of nearly 32%. And a lot of this has to do with Steve Kerr shortening the rotation to just 6 or 7 players, and with typical production from guys like Jordan Poole being close to absent the entire series. The Warriors mostly got away with these issues in the first round against the Kings because their best player, Fox, hadn't played a single postseason game in his career yet. In fact, look at it this way. I guarantee it'll blow your mind. If we just take the championship core of Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, and Draymond Green and add their total minutes played in the playoffs coming into that series, that number comes to an absurd 15,439 combined minutes versus only 10 players on the Kings roster with playoff experience who have a combined mere 4,282 minutes. That's 3 guys on Golden State versus 10 guys on the Kings. And the Warriors' big 3 outdid the Kings roster by almost 3 times. I'll say this. This 2023 NBA season was a roller coaster ride personified for the defending champs. The year started with the Draymond Green-Jordan Poole incident in practice one day before the preseason. The Warriors got off to a super slow start and quickly became the worst road team coming off a championship the season before. So, nothing exactly looked or felt dynastic with these Warriors this season. But who am I, or all of us, to count out the Warriors a second time when many already failed trying to dismiss the Warriors before last season's championship when the Warriors were the worst team in the NBA in 2020 and followed up that season with a play-in loss to the upstart Memphis Grizzlies. In fact, this was supposed to be the year the core of the Warriors' Big 3 slowly passed the torch over to the young guys of the team. The Jordan Pooles, Jonathan Kumingas, and Moses Moody's of the world. These guys were expected to take a massive leap this year and help the Warriors look like an even bigger powerhouse than they were in previous seasons. But, I have to say, instead of the young guys stepping up, it was more so the Steph Curry show the entire season. Let it be known how incredible Steph Curry was this season, particularly before that injury he suffered before the All-Star break. Now 35 years old, Steph Curry continues to defy all the odds by relentlessly staving off Father Time and putting together some of the best stretches of basketball in his career. With the 2023 regular season well into the history books, Steph Curry finished this season as the oldest player in the NBA history to have a season with a scoring average of at least 25 points, with shooting splits of at least 49% from the floor, 40% from three-point range, and 90% from the free throw line. Steph Curry's age 35 season, compared to some of the other all-time greats at or around the same age, looks something like this. And yet, what Steph did this season is just a continuation of what he's been doing for a long time now, or ever since he became universally recognized as the greatest shooter that God ever created. Which is precisely the reason I'm not ready to call it quits for this dynasty. They still have one of the greatest athletes of all time at the peak of his powers, and he's still finding ways to make our jaws drop. When you have a generational talent like Steph at the forefront of your team, the championship window is still very much open. With that being said, big-time changes to the roster are inevitable at this point, and the Warriors might have to think hard about something that could pay huge dividends in the short term. What's the likelihood the Warriors pull the plug on the young guys and package them in a deal to land a big-time superstar so they can extend the longevity of this dynasty? There are tons of reports beginning to surface about the immediate future of this team, most notably what the team's going to do moving forward with Draymond Green. Now, Dre said already, quote, "I want to be a Warrior for the rest of my life. I want to ride out with the same dudes I rode in with." This, of course, came after the loss to the Lakers that ended their season and after Draymond had reportedly requested a max extension to remain a Warrior for the rest of his career. Some fans were through with Draymond after he punched Jordan Poole in the face, but I think it's safe to say he more than made up for it by playing some good ball these playoffs. And bear with me as I break down this potential dark horse blueprint to another championship. Do you remember what the Lakers did when they were in a similar position to what the Warriors are in now a few seasons ago? They had young budding stars like Brandon Ingram, Josh Hart, Lonzo Ball, and they decided to package these guys in a trade to bring in Anthony Davis to pair with LeBron. And though it's been up and down in LA since that trade, the Lakers got a championship out of the move and could possibly earn a second one now. Why wouldn't the Warriors entertain the prospect of sending Poole, Kuminga, Moody, and all those young guys to bring in a superstar along with Steph, Klay, and Draymond when you have the opportunity to become instant title favorites as soon as next season? Especially when Jordan Poole's massive new contract doesn't kick in till next season? Now would be an opportunity to try and move him while his value is still relatively high despite his no-shows in the postseason, especially with Steph clearly still in his prime. Klay having a strong bounce-back season and Draymond still doing Draymond things, there are a number of superstars out there that the Warriors could potentially add via trade and could position themselves to add a couple of more chips in the Steph Curry era. Again, why not? I don't see nearly the payoff with letting Draymond go and developing younger talent as I do with making this team a powerhouse one last time by bringing in another superstar during the remaining years of Steph Curry's prime. While, yes, adding a superstar probably won't lessen the luxury tax burden the Warriors are already in and have been in for a long time now, the Warriors front office has shown us one thing. There is zero reluctance in spending big. Other moves like adding size would be another no-brainer, but the Warriors have shown us time and time again that they don't need any superstar center in the middle to maximize their potential. They've gotten the job more than done with solid role players like JaVale McGee protecting the paint inside in the past. All they need is a big body down there that gives them rebounding, shot blocking, and some edge that the Lakers exposed mightily. Dare I say that this might be the most important offseason in the history of the Warriors franchise? I don't think that's too far-fetched to say with what we've all seen and the circumstances on the horizon. Fortunately for the Warriors and their fans, the team's just a couple of moves away from perhaps being the best team in the NBA again. The question isn't so much if the dynasty is over, the question is, what will this roster look like in a few months when the 2024 season kicks off? And how will the Warriors respond this time?